Hello, my pretties. It is time for your Virgo January 2020 reading. Quick housekeeping announcement. I have decided that I will be doing all of my readings with the Vice Versa Tarot. So Virgo, I will go ahead and get you started. I've already drawn your cards. We start off with the Knight of Cups. We have the Knight of Pentacles, the Two of Wands. Now the Knight of Pentacles and the Two of Wands are both in reverse. We then have the Death card, which can also mean Scorpio. We have the Four of Pentacles, the Seven of Wands, the Hermit card, which is also Virgo. Let me see, the Wheel of Time, the Eight of Wands, and the Eight of Cups. So I will also say check out your angel number, because we do have an 8-8 showing up here in your reading. It seems like there is some sort of divergent path here, starting off with the two knights. One is in reverse and the other one is not, and they're like, this is how they came up, as in pulling away from each other. There's a little bit of a Cancer reference here on the back of the Knight of Cups. You can see there's a crab there. So there may be Cancer kind of cross-watcher or in the sphere of influence of this reading. But it seems like with the Knight of Cups being referring to heart matters of the heart and a young energy, but there's definite movement there, and then the Knight of Pentacles referring to finances and tangible possessions, pulling in the opposite direction. It seems like there's a little bit of a choice here between the heart wants what it wants and the desire for possessions and stability. And then we have the Two of Wands, and he is watching the sunrise, and he's got this golden orb in his hand. And it's so there's also a little bit of Leo here in the back. You can see the lion here behind him. But it's like he is standing there in his kingdom surveying the options, and there's also like the Two Wands. So it's almost like, am I more passionate about this love, or am I more passionate about my career and finances, and having to kind of make a little bit of a decision there? And then we have the Death card. So this is potentially Scorpio energy, but it also signifies the completion of a cycle. But in this, so this is the other side of the Death card, right? So it's not that. It's a much more of a celebration here. So it's like when you are able to make that decision, and it feels like this is something that you're trying to decide which one you're more passionate about, and you do make that decision, you're going to be happy with the decision that you make. Which is interesting, because we then have the Four of Pentacles, right? And this is, on the back here, we have the symbol for each of the signs up here in the triangles, right? But again, it's like he's going through a maze, the maze behind his head, right? This is like a mental thing. So it seems like going through this, you're making a choice, right? The first turn in the maze, and you get to the end of that and you make the right choice, and you're happy with the choice that you've made, and now you're presented with even more options, more decisions. And it's kind of, it feels like this bit of a struggle energy. And but you can see all the weapons have been laid down at your feet, right? It's not even, there's a fight happening, but I don't feel like it's with anyone, right? And that's when we go into the Hermit energy, which is your own energy. This is Virgo energy. So Again, there's this Cancer in the background. So this may be a Cancer relationship that you're turning your back on, but you're also focusing more so on like guides and there's actually the serpent showing up here as well, like around the egg, around the staff that he's got in his hand. You can see it on both sides. So it seems like Virgo is more so turning towards a Scorpio energy. And I feel like what's happening here is like you're not going to make a wrong choice. What is meant for you will always be for you. But it's like you're choosing between Cancer and Scorpio here. And then we have the wheel coming up. And I opened the book to look at this one because I thought it was interesting. It's the Wheel of Fortune. So it came up front facing, right? And it references completion of a cycle and the beginning of a new one. Accepting change, expansion, birth of new awareness. So you've gone through this process, right? And you're turning your back on something that does not serve you. And in that, it's bringing in this new energy. So the change of cycle may be a Scorpio friendship or a Scorpio partnership or something along those lines. But in any case, it isn't pulling you away from your path. And I think that's the important thing to note is right here, you're trying to make a decision that doesn't pull you away from your path. And it seems like they're pulling on each other. And so it seems like you're choosing your career here because this is where Cancer is. And again, we have the Cancer is on the back here. The Cancer is in the back here on the Hermit card. So it seems very much that Virgo is turning their back away from the Cancer energy. They focus on their career. In that, Scorpio comes up in the path. But it's also the close of a cycle. So this person, it doesn't mean that's your forever person because some people are there for a season. Some people are there always along your path. It really just depends. But the point is that you have made the best decision for yourself and that moves you further along your path. And yes, it does bring up more choices. It does make, you do at times feel like you are fighting against other people, but ultimately this brings you more closely in line with your own personal strength and energy. And as we go through this, the wheel of the year, the wheel of time, excuse me. I think it's the wheel of time in this deck. I'm sorry, the Wheel of Fortune. I don't even know where I'm going with this. The Wheel of Fortune and the Death card are saying the same thing. It's a close of a cycle, but it's reaffirming that you have made the right decision. We then have the Eight of Wands, which is not to say, just because you're going through this cycle, the cycle ends and you've made the right decision, it doesn't mean that you are done with decisions, you're done with struggle, you're done with fighting through things, because we do have these two eights coming up, right? And that one is, for me also, I will say, the Eight of Cups always has a strong Hermit energy. You can see the other side of it. But these cups are battered, and this always refers to inner child work for me. So it's here we're saying you've gotten through this place, but now there's more for you to work on. And so with this Eight of Wands is saying that is coming up. It is coming to that time where you will work on this part. And part of that is the work with the inner child. Just because you're coming up on this period where it's going to be a lot more internally focused versus external decisions that are like real, I don't want to say real world decisions as in internal work isn't real, but more so it's external work is things that other people can see you going through. Other people may know that you're struggling. When it's internal work, it's not so obvious to everyone around us when we're struggling, right? So you may be feeling some of that energy, and always know that you can reach out to people. And I'm going to clarify a little bit on the Eight of Wands and the Eight of Cups. I almost always clarify the Eight of Wands because especially in this deck, it speaks to like some fighting and some struggling that's coming up, but it doesn't give much more clarity other than there is a struggle, there is a bit of a fight going on. Ooh. So we have Justice. Also, I believe this is the Virgo symbol here on the floor. And Libra. And then we have the Five of Pentacles. And that is very much, and this has been coming up a lot for the month of January, but it's the energy of, I'm not responsible, this isn't my fault. So the internal work that you may be working around are things that have happened in your life that they may not be your fault. They may be your fault. Like, only you can truly know that, but you're still responsible for how you respond to it and how you approach that situation moving forward. Be sure that you approach it with the Libra energy, the balance, the measure, looking at it from all angles, not just from your own personal perspective. Be thoughtful in the way that you approach it, and don't just look at it from your own personal perspective and where you're sitting, where you're feeling right now, but definitely care for your inner child and do your inner work. Virgo, I hope that this was helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time in February.